This is Silph Radio, a Pokemon-centered podcast. Every episode, we discuss a different aspect of the Pokemon universe in good, explicitly worded fun. We don't own Pokemon, the intellectual property. That's all Game Freak, Nintendo, and all of them. We just like to talk about it and fanboy out. I'm Nathan K.
This is Phil C.
And today, the topic for discussion is Saffron City, or Yamabuki City in Japanese. The Shining Big City, or the Shining Golden Land of Commerce, as it's known.
Oh, it never really seemed that way to me at all. It just kind of is that way, I guess.
How did it seem to you?
I don't know. Shining Golden Land of Commerce speaks of Celadon City to me. I mean, yes, you have the Silph Road building, which, company and all that, but you look at Shining Golden Land of Commerce. When you walk into Celadon City, it just seems more vibrant, more flashy. That says Shining Golden Land of Commerce. Not only that, you have a giant mall. So
Celadon City and a game corner. It's right. We talked about this last week with Jeremy, actually. It's definitely where people come to spend money, throw money around, make it rain.
Make it rain.
Saffron City is just to the left or the right
east.
Of the east. Yeah,
just
not
to
the
the
left
east.
or the right. I'm speaking of looking at the overhead map. Yeah, we just got to go right for a while.
Yeah.
We'll totally get there.
What's with all these trees? Well, you said right.
Oh, man. I think they kind of play a part as like the two biggest cities in Kanto. It is the biggest city in Kanto. It's the 10th most populated city in the Pokemon world. In Gen 1, it was either 50 or 63 people lived there. That's super populated for the Pokemon world. Again, I think this is a much
Pretty big city, yeah.
lesser developed world in the sense of I think I see it a lot like feudal Japan. I really do, but with more technology. In Gen 2, it's dropped to either 47 or 35.
That's quite a drop in population. What explains 47 to 35?
We're going to talk about that in a little bit, actually. I think there is an explanation.
All right, I hope so. Otherwise, that's some janky math.
I mean, it makes sense that it's so populated as it's positioned, on the map right in the middle of four other cities, which not a lot of places are. No other place is close to that many cities in the game. Most of them are separated by a geographic location like Viridian Forest or Mount Moon.
Or Rock Tunnel.
Rock Tunnel.
They like caves. Why do they like caves?
It's also got the magnet train station, which connects Johto and Kanto, so it's got that international traffic.
Yep. As of Gen 2, yep. Man, I love that train.
It's right by routes 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemagel, Hots and Pots Incorporated.
Yeah. I must not play these games because I don't recognize any of that.
It's also a Smash Brothers level, so Mario and Link and everybody are routinely visiting, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, all the way on the top where we can't get to.
So do you think that happened in canon, like the Smash Brothers did do battle there? But
like Donkey Kong punched Link off the edge and we just didn't see it?
No one knew. No one ever saw it because it was like some Matrix Heroes underground world thing that no one knew that these people from other dimensions were fighting atop the Silph Co building.
I don't think it happened at the same time as our adventure took place. No. I mean, considering the amount of time we spent outside of Saffron, it's entirely possible that the police covered it up. Entirely.
That said, they don't ever call him Red. They just call him Pokemon Trainer. I was wondering if maybe Red in canon really did go compete and meet Mario and Luigi and Samus and
you got to remember that he wasn't put into the game until Brawl, and Brawl does not have a Saffron City stage.
Yeah, I know. I meant separate from Saffron City.
Oh.
But it's not Red. It doesn't say Red. It just says Pokemon Trainer. So it's probably a Pokemon Trainer.
Who just happens to have a Squirtle, an Ivysaur, and a Charizard. Much canon to Ash rather than Red.
It looks like Red. It really looks like Red.
Of course it does. He's a generic figure that everyone can associate with.
So I guess the city's supposedly based on Tokyo. Does that have any relevance to the way you imagine it?
No significance to me, no, but I wouldn't be surprised. Tokyo does have a Tokyo Tower, although I don't see it represented much, unless there is a radio tower in there that I'm just not remembering. I don't remember that there is. I know there's Silph.
No, I don't think there's a radio tower.
No. The most important building in Saffron was always the Mr. Psychic's house, because who can turn down Psychic back in Gen 1 when it was almost unstoppable?
Yeah, Mr. Psychic. Interesting character. Well, so you don't like the Shining Golden Land of Commerce. I mean, it's Saffron. It's yellow. It's always depicted with kind of yellows and greens. And it's obviously that color's got to be pervasive throughout the city, right?
If you remember back to Gen 1, Gen 2, you had your Game Boy Color, and it's not explicitly stated that that's what it is. And I want to be clear, it's not that I have an issue with the descriptor of Shining Golden Land of Commerce. I have an issue with it being applied to Saffron. I believe it should be applied to Celadon.
And maybe Saffron should have its own identity outside.
Right.
Yeah, because that's not what I think of when I go there. I think of Sabrina. I think of the Fighting Dojo. I think of Silph Co. I don't think of the Shining Golden Land of Commerce. Maybe innovation or technology even, because Silph Co. is located there.
I wouldn't go so far as to say technology or innovation.
No.
When you had told me that we were doing one on Saffron City, first thing it is, if Ludobulbapedia did a background on it and realized that what I think of in Saffron City is not mentioned there in any article, and it's not there that anyone's ever mentioned before, it stands out to me as plain. And I'll say that with this context. You go to Pallet Town, the name is Pallet, you build on top of it, I get it. Play on words. Pallet's very small. There are only houses necessary for the necessary people. You go to Viridian, there's a few more houses, but again, it stays very necessary. You move on to Pewter, I get it. Rocks, Cerulean, Water Gym, I get it, even though there's no water near it except for the Stuff My Dug at Bridge. Go through down to Vermilion, which again has a few more houses, but you can all kind of tell that they have a theme going for them. Push over to Lavender Town, it's brazenly apparent. And then you go over to Celadon, again, brazenly apparent what the theme is. You go to Saffron, it's very plain. There's nothing that sticks out. There's no eccentric decorations like you would find in Fuchsia or Celadon. It's just there. And it always struck me as kind of bland, which is why when I got in there, finally, it's blah. It just struck me as very boring. You just wanted to hit what you had to hit and get out. And it's bad enough they made you stick around Silph Co. for the rocket event, but it's just
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. I guess I always saw it as the big city. I never really thought of Celadon as being the super big city until until more recently. When I was younger, it was just kind of, the place with the department store.
And the game corner.
In the game corner, sure.
And the guy who gives you the certificate for completing the national dex, which does absolutely nothing for you.
Yeah, Freak. The Game Freak fucking developers.
And Eevee. Can't forget Eevee. Eevee was baller.
There's definitely some type of secret behind-the-scenes world going on here, I swear. The Game Freak developers are living in Celadon City. We got fucking Mario and Link and all them dimensionally traveling to fight atop Silph Co.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I just, if I can touch back on that, you hear about Saffron City as early as, I believe it's Vermilion, from one of the trainers nearby.
Really? Okay.
And they build it up to be this great big thing. Well, such and such is going on in Saffron. You try to go in and the guard stops you and says, gee, I'm parched.
He's thirsty.
What does that have to do with your job?
Yeah, what does that have to do with me, bro?
He's like, oh, no one can come in. Well, if I give you some water, can I come in? Yeah, sure, here you go.
Okay, you know what, though? I have to say, though, it's good that, this shit is finally coming into light with, Let's Plays on YouTube and body cams and stuff. People finally know that these city guards abuse their power all the time. And this is something that Pokemon trainers go through every day. And now it's finally with the internet and the power of, the average person. Hopefully these guards will stop.
Not only
learning that they have to stop abusing their power just because you're thirsty.
Just to get free drinks. I mean, I get that that's okay at a bar. Whatever. Flash your badge, get what you need. If they're doing something illegal, great. You get a free drink out of it. Keep them in business. Whatever. Everyone's happy. I'm convinced it's the same guy. Notice, you can never see two of those guards at the same time.
Moves through the different gates.
He's in one of the gates. I'm sure there's a warp tile system or something, and he just constantly flies through all of them and waits for you to walk through and then goes, yep, nope, can't, gotta give me a drink. Notice how you give one a drink.
Thirsty.
Yeah, you give one a drink and then suddenly they're all satisfied. It seems fishy.
Hey, Saffron City Hall, would it be that hard to get a water cooler in the guards' fucking
or hire more guards? Just saying. I need to go get a drink. Cover me.
So he can take a break. You got all these regulations on how many fucking Pokemon we can carry. Do you got a regulation that lets the guard take a break so he doesn't abuse his power and take it out on Pokemon trainers?
Poor 12-year-old kids, or was he 10? Whatever. The booklet says you're 10 or 12. It's a 12-year-old kid getting stopped by a cop. Can you imagine? He's probably pissing himself. Let's be real. 10-year-old kid, naive as all get out. Cop says, no, you can't go in. By the way, I'm thirsty. Well, what does that say to a kid?
Hashtag not all city guards.
Yeah, not all of us. Just most of us.
So Silph Co, though, we've touched on that a few times. That's, of course, the company that sponsors this podcast, and their headquarters, an 11-floor skyscraper, is located there. They utilize some crazy type of like warp technology to travel.
Like I was telling you about in the guard towers. Yeah.
Oh, that's why. That's how he gets to the different. Oh,
yeah.
There's a warp tile behind the desk. You just don't see it because he's standing on it.
Essentially, yeah. He just landed there, and when he needs to leave, he boop.
But you got to think, wouldn't it have been easier to just install elevators and stairs?
Maybe, but then he has to go to the second floor, and they're not linked by like those glass walkways that it really should have for being the shining center of commerce.
It's got to be really confusing and frustrating for the people who work there, though. Like, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's just one of those things. Like, it seems like it, but you've worked there for years.
No. There's a map on the back of the key card. Duh.
You know, you walk out of your office, you go to the right, you hit that fucking. That teleporter.
There's maps everywhere.
And then it sends you spinning down the hallway downstairs.
No, you're thinking
right to the vending machine.
You're thinking the rocket ones. These ones don't spin. They just
they
poof.
don't send you spinning. You just okay.
No, you just poof onto the other floor, and it's like, oh shit, I took the wrong teleporter. Now I'm on floor 11, and the boss is gonna kill me because I'm gonna be late.
Okay, so it just you know which one brings you right to the vending machine.
Yeah. There's got to be like a map or something like his back of the key card on the wall, but a 10-year-old kid's not gonna know that, so he's not gonna look at it on the wall. Swagger.
But yeah, again, commerce doesn't. I mean, it's developed here. It's not. Maybe it's a culture hub, and like kind of it's Tokyo. Maybe it's kind of like a Tokyo, New York City. Like there's these companies that develop stuff. There's the Pokemon Trainer fan club.
There is one in there, isn't there? Because I thought it was in Vermilion,
nope,
in the Western House by the fishing guy.
Saffron.
Nope, there's definitely one in Vermilion, too, because you get a rare candy from it if you let the guy talk. Yep, definitely one there.
That's probably the Pokemon fan club.
What one are we talking about?
The Pokemon Trainers fan club.
Oh.
This is where they gush over their favorite celebrity Pokemon trainers.
Oh, my gosh, Lance.
I have to say, anyone that's going to just, like, set aside time to meet up and just talk about Pokemon or Pokemon trainers... What a fucking losers. What kind of losers do that? Like,
well, not when you can walk out there and go get your own.
The only thing worse than that would be listening to people sit around and talk about it.
Yeah, that would make you pretty lame.
Yeah, that's interesting, though. You show up early on, and they're all like, oh, my God, I love Erica. Oh, my God, I love Blaine. Like, their favorite gym leaders and stuff. And then after you've beat the Elite Four, a lot of them are like, oh, my God, it's Red.
Or whatever your name is.
It's Phil. Hey.
And I'm all just like, stalker mode. Gotta leave now.
You're from Silph Radio.
Yep, gotta go. You can't have none of my mass monies.
So there's a few notable residents there, too, though. You talked about Mr. Psychic earlier.
Because he was, like, the only thing that gets you through, like, Agatha in the end. So if you don't make that pit stop and talk to him, you will be crying on your way through the Elite Four.
He gives you TM29, Psychic.
Yes.
If you visit. Do you think he just... Okay, so basically he's this man that lives in a little small one-room house who...
As does everybody.
He claims to be psychic. He calls himself Mr. Psychic. I doubt that's his government.
The government name, Mr. Psychic.
But yeah, do you think he just gives people TM29? Or you were a special case?
I don't know. Everybody treats me like a special case, so I'm going to go with the fact that I'm a snowflake. I'm different from everybody. Mostly because I'm a 12-year-old kid running around in New York City. Here. Yeah, no kidding.
You get on 2 episodes of Silph Radio, and all of a sudden...
This is my third, isn't it?
This is your third.
Oh, wow.
We've passed the 20 episode mark, though. So Dang. That's pretty sweet.
I'm really not in as many as I thought I was in. All right.
Yeah, no.
But no, I'm pretty sure...
Get you in some more.
It was a special case. He says something about recognizing your potential and then hands it off to you, which I'm like, okay, cool. I could use this for my own.
He says... that he knows, he can read your mind or whatever, and he knows that you want a gift from him, which is the moment that you, the 10-year-old boy, is like, no thanks, I need an adult. Stranger danger.
Gift, huh?
No gifts, thank you.
Well, no, you're naive, so you're like, yeah, cool, what kind of free stuff do you have? There's no allegations of anything, none of that. That's when you grow up later and you realize... You
repressed it?
Yeah, of course, because he gave you a little disc that could teach your Pokemon stuff.
TM29, repress.
Yeah, exactly.
He gave you TM29 Psychic, which you can use to teach your Pokemon Psychic.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
That's how most people got through the fighting gym, I would imagine.
Maybe he's a former employee of Silph Co, and when he left, he stole a bunch of TMs.
Probably. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
eBay didn't exist because this was Gen 1, so...
It was in its fledgling states. He may not have heard about it. He's kind of an old-timer.
Another notable resident is Copycat. Remember Copycat?
Oh, yeah, she was annoying.
She shows up in Gold and Silver and in Red and Blue. She gives you the TM for Mimic in one of them, and she just teaches it to your Pokemon in the other one. In return for a Clefairy doll. You got to get her a Clefairy doll, and then she'll teach one of your Pokemon Mimic.
Never understood why. It's not like Clefairy can learn it by a level. It was notable for Metronome, so I don't get why she wants
She
one.
collects dolls. She collects Pokemon dolls. I don't remember all the ones she has, but if you pay attention... If you take her Pokemon team and her dolls, she has one from each gen.
She has a team?
She has, originally she has a Doduo, and then in Gold and Silver it's evolved to a Dodrio.
Wait, when do you fight her?
You don't fight her.
Oh.
You see them in her house, I think.
Oh, okay.
But they're actual Pokemon as compared to Pokemon dolls.
Oh, gotcha.
But between her dolls and her Pokemon, she has one from each generation.
Up until that point.
Yeah. And then she also has a Blissey and a Banette, apparently. And Banette.
That had to be
dichotomy there.
It had to be HGSS, didn't it?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Odd.
Do you remember her trading card?
No.
She was dressed up as Gold, holding the Pokemon, the Pokeball. She had the big pigtails, blue hair, I think.
That reminds me of Duplica.
There was like her with a mustache, dressed up like Blaine in the background, and her as a Rocket Grunt in the background, her as a Pikachu in the background. She was like Duplica.
Oh.
Oddly enough, she doesn't have a Ditto.
Which would be like the perfect thing for her. Just saying #Game Freak, get your shit together.
Yeah, you think they would have given her a Ditto. That is weird. She does the whole thing where she repeats everything you say.
But you don't say anything. Well, no, I'm saying as a silent protagonist, you don't say anything. Okay, funny.
Yeah, she does that. I was just trying to illustrate for the listener what it was she does.
I'm sure they already know.
No, I think that's interesting. You're not a actually silent protagonist like Link. You know,
No, Link is most definitely not silent.
I thought Link couldn't speak. Oh yeah, that's right.
Anything but
as you're walking down the street in Saffron. What was that? Scrat?
Yeah. It's like, okay, Link is most definitely not silent. He just doesn't know English.
Wing hop.
Yeah.
What is that noise? I swear I keep hearing. No, but actually that's really interesting because that might be the only time it actually provides dialogue that your character speaks. Your character clearly speaks. They don't write the dialogue because they want you to be able to imagine it's you saying it the way you would say it. So
right.
This is one of the only instances, if not the only instance, then where you actually get dialogue of your character where it's like, huh? What? Stop copying me or whatever it is that she says.
I think they just hide your own text from you because it might confuse the kiddies.
No, it's to put it's a role-playing game.
Right,
it's to put yourself in those shoes.
I know.
It's a very common video game
just saying.
Technique.
Just saying.
Not all dittos. And then as we mentioned, there's the magnet train station, which connects Johto and Kanto.
Yeah, in Gold Silver, which, never mind that you have to go through Rock Tunnel to the power plant. Wait, no.
It's
not through the Rock Tunnel. It's past the Rock Tunnel to get to the power plant to turn it on.
I think they actually tear down Copycat's house to build that
good
train station, and she's forced to relocate.
Hope they paid her.
Those bastards.
#Manifest Destiny.
At least it's not like in Lavender Town where they just uprooted thousands of, or if not hundreds of Pokemon graves and built a radio tower there.
Yeah, that did happen, didn't it?
Yeah. I'm so bitter and resentful about that. I cannot believe that
they just completely ruined the atmosphere of Lavender Town.
I legitimately can't believe that the game developers had such disrespect for, you know what I mean? Like that idea. I really would have expected the game developers to be like, no, let's not have the people of Lavender Town uproot graves and replace it with. But I guess it was because they didn't want Pokemon to be so dark.
It wasn't.
It doesn't have to. Yeah, people die. Like Sesame Street had an episode about death. It was God. I made the mistake of watching it.
That's
few episodes
dark.
ago. Do you remember Mr. Hooper?
No.
The guy who owned the
shop.
The shop.
There's a lot of shops on there.
But he was the only person who was on the show from its premiere clear up until the 90s when he died.
Oh.
And he was the old guy.
That's dark.
Didn't you ever see the
No.
old Christmas special where
No.
Ernie gets Bert
Didn't
a
watch.
box for his paperclip collection, but he
No.
has to trade Rubber Ducky to do it, and then Bert gets Ernie a dish for Rubber Ducky, but he has to trade his paperclip collection to do it.
No, but I know what they're basing that
And
off
then
of.
and then Mr. Hooper shows up, and he's like, "Well, I gave you," because they sold him to Mr. Hooper.
Yeah,
he's
to
like,
get
"Are
the
you
other-
sure you really want to sell this? You better not be using this to buy drugs."
Did he really
No.
say that? I was about
No.
to be like, wow.
But at the end, Mr. Hooper, he knows how much Ernie cares about Rubber Ducky, and he gives it back to him as the Christmas present. It's the most like heartwarming episode. But then there's the episode I made the mistake of watching a few months back, maybe the beginning of the summer, where Mr. Hooper died. Like the actor actually did die, and it was very tragic. And
How did he die? He just
old
got
age.
old?
He was really old.
That's
I'm
not
pretty sure just
tragic.
old
That's
age.
normal.
Well, it's sad. It's always tragic when somebody dies. It doesn't
No,
matter if it's normal.
It's normal.
Something can be normal and tragic, Phil.
That may be, but I still don't see it as being something worth. Boo,
Dude, there was this
tragic.
whole episode. They had to explain death to Big Bird. Like Big Bird was like, he's like, yeah, I drew pictures of everyone, and he's like, see, here's a picture I drew of you, and he's passing them out to everybody, like all the human characters.
Where's Mr. Hooper?
And well, no, he's like, yeah, he's passing all the pictures, and like, oh, this looks just like me, Big Bird. Thank you so much. I'm gonna put this on my fridge. Absolutely, right when I get home. Thank you, Big Bird. You're so
And then he
talented.
balls it
you
up
know?
and throws it away.
And then, yeah.
Fridge my butt.
Fucking bird.
Doesn't look anything like me, asshole.
And then he's like, and I drew one of Mr. Hooper. And they're like, well, that's really nice of you, Big Bird. And he's like, yeah, I can't wait to give it to him when he comes back. And everybody
back.
just kind of gets like really quiet and awkward. And they're like,
He died, bro.
Big Bird, Mr. Hooper's not coming back. And he's like, well, what do you mean? Why? And they're like, that's not how this works, Big Bird. Like, he's gone forever. Like, he's dead. Like, and Big Bird is just like, but why? I don't want him to. I want him to come back. Oh my God, the feels, dude. Like, it is fucking heartbreaking, dude. It is so heartbreaking. Like, I grew up with the cast of, like, I watched a lot of the videos and reruns of, like, the cast from the 70s and 80s. Like, the Christmas special from, like, 79 or whatever was my fucking childhood. And where Big Bird stays up all night on the roof to catch Santa Claus. You're missing out on a childhood, Phil.
I'm okay, thanks.
Oh, my
Bit late.
God. The disrespect you show for Jim Henson and his creation. Sesame Street is not some bullshit, dude. Sesame Street is some real shit.
I'm sure it is, but nothing I'm interested in.
It's a lot better than the Pokemon anime, I'll tell you what.
That's not saying much. Just saying.
Why were we talking about this?
Uprooting the Pokemon Tower to build...
Oh, yeah. Big Bird. Those Pokemon graves are gone. It's a radio tower now.
It's okay. We're going to broadcast...
never visit your dead Raticate again.
Raticate.
Hashtag fan theory, you killed Big Bird's Raticate.
Big Bird? Who names their rival Big Bird?
Red killed Red killed Mr. Hooper on the SSN.
On the SSN. With a Kadabra.
No disrespect to, I don't remember his name, the actor who played Mr. Hooper. God bless you. Thanks for my childhood.
Moving on.
Moving on. So, like most cities, now this is the second episode we've done about a location. First one was Lavender Town. They don't have their own gym. This city does. In fact, this city has 2 fucking gyms. Bruh.
Yeah.
Do you even go to the gym?
Do you even gym, bruh? I double gym, bruh. I'm from Saffron.
Me and Jeremy had a big, long discussion about like what gyms were and what they represented last episode. I definitely encourage the listener to go check that out if they haven't already.
Yes, listener, that means you. Pause it. Go get the old one. Watch it. We'll wait. Don't worry. It'll save your place. We'll wait.
The gym leader for this town, of course, is Sabrina. She leads the psychic type gym of Saffron City.
Keo forever.
Now, we're not going to dwell too much on Sabrina. We're going to talk a little bit about her, but Sabrina's going to get her own episode, so I don't want to get too deep into her entire history. This is more focusing on the town as general, but you can't discuss it without discussing Sabrina. And there's the rival gym, the Fighting Dojo. It used to be an official gym until they apparently lost a dispute with Sabrina, and her gym became the officially sanctioned one.
Which shows to me that the Pokemon League is hella lazy, if you don't mind me going out on this limb and saying it. First, you're only allowed to have 6 Pokemon, and then if there's a dispute about which gym is there, we just let them figure it out between themselves.
You guys fight it out.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you guys have to officially sanction everything. So rather than actually taking a stance and saying, no, this would test the trainer better, we're just going to be like, you guys fight and figure it out. We'll send badges to the winner.
I think perhaps there was a there's probably more of a story to it. There's probably a whole prequel-worthy fucking There Will Be Blood oil tycoon-esque story of like just Sabrina probably came in and was like, no, I want this city for myself.
That she was probably like, I want to take a city, and these guys are easy because I'm psychic, so slaughter.
I don't think it was that the league's just like, sorry, only one gym per fucking city, dudes. Sorry. I think it was that Sabrina really strong-armed the Kyo, who's Master Kyo is the guy that leads the fighting dojo,
right?
Also called Koichi. I think there was some dispute. There's probably a whole story between them, and just she, through her connections, through her psychic abilities, through her intimidation, whatever. There's some story that played out.
She cheated.
She probably does have connections. She's an actress in the manga. Later on in the manga.
Oh, screw the manga. This is game canon, okay? Thanks. If you're going to start reaching into other mediums, we are going to talk about the show, and I cannot have that.
Oh, we're going to talk about the show, too.
No, we cannot have that.
For the record, for any listeners who aren't totally familiar, if we don't specify that something's from the manga or the anime, then it's from the game. We generally only use the game stuff as canon, but we do touch upon how it's represented in the anime and the manga as well.
And expanded, much like Star Wars universe in the movies being the only largely recognized canon, but there are books that are recognized as canon for afterwards.
Or expanded universe, or tertiary material. And that's kind of, the anime, the manga, those are both interpretations of what we consider canon are only the main core series games.
Right. For example, big thing, in the manga, the Elite Four, is it the Elite Four or the entire league that's evil?
Not the entire league. The Elite Four and like half the gym leaders.
All right, so it's all corrupt, much like our modern-day government.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting story. So much better than the fucking anime, where gym leaders are just an episode device, like for one episode.
Yeah, even though like I don't even know what's going on. I'm not even going to go there. But point is, it looks like somebody played the game and was like, "There's so much more here to it." Contacted the creators and they said, "Fine, but we get X amount of the profits," and then they let the writers go. And it's actually very good.
That's what the comic business is like in Japan. They actually let the writers write their fucking stories instead of controlling it.
Right, and if you do have time and you have nothing against manga, I highly suggest that you go read all of them because it will give you a much better understanding. Mind you, this is coming from someone who has not bothered to read any of it.
The dialogue's a little wooden. The art is slightly subpar, but not bad. But
it gives you an appreciation for the world.
Yeah, the story and the depiction of the world are so much more spot on than anything else other than Origins.
Yeah, it has its drawbacks, but for someone who played the games, if you haven't had a chance to read the manga, there are ways to procure it, although hard copies are always the best because you just can't beat the feeling of
reading it online gets a little confusing because the translations are often, or like you'll be looking through it and it's like one issue is a scan of the English copy.
Right.
The next issue is a scan of the Japanese copy with one fan that translated it.
Yeah.
But they didn't flip it so that you read right to left. One of them is a fan translation, but it is flipped to read right to left because, in Japan you read mangas left to right.
Don't you read them right to left?
Or I'm sorry, Jesus, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm all over my mind is right to left. I'm sorry, east to west.
All right.
Excuse me.
Okay, I get it. No, but what he's saying is that there are inconsistencies in fan copies.
And, yeah, there's inconsistencies in whether you're supposed to read right to left or left to right. There's inconsistencies in whether the girl is called Green or the boy is called Green, because Blue, Gary, he's blue in America, but he's green in Japan, and then in the manga they started printing it as blue, but then they decided to change it to green. It's so fucking confusing.
Right, so you're better off just getting one set or one copy from one publisher or something all the way through. Otherwise, you're going to risk getting confused.
And excuse me, it's not so fucking confusing. It's just confusing if you don't know to already be looking out for that and to be mindful when they say green, to use context clues to know if they're talking about the girl or the boy, and to use context clues to know if you should be reading left to right or right to left. Also in the manga, Sabrina's with Team Rocket. And yes, I think so is Lieutenant Surge. I don't see Sabrina as being a part of Team Rocket, but I do see her as being
manipulating them.
If maybe not even having anything to do with Team Rocket, but being antagonistic. If some of the gym leaders are assholes and some of them are friendly, helpful protagonists, I think she would be one of the antagonists.
She would just stir the pot, simply to stir the pot.
Yeah, I don't see her as being flat out evil, like I'm going to destroy the world or take over the world or catch every legendary or something like that.
Not like she destroyed the fighting gym. Hashtag
Exactly.
never forget.
I'm going to take over this city. Like almost like not as bad as Giovanni, but just almost like not even a crime boss, but just a ruthless gym leader.
Wait a minute, you're saying that the manga paints her out that way, or don't see her that way?
I personally see her not as a criminal, not as evil, but definitely as an antagonistic character if there was going to be one, at least.
I could see her as being excessively aggressive, but I wouldn't see that. I don't see her in the same light that the manga paints her in either. No,
me either. Like if it came down to it, and she was there when Team Rocket was storming Silph Co., I think she would be alongside you, helping you fight Team Rocket. You know,
I don't, because Team Rocket blocked her door, I think, and she did nothing about it.
Oh,
Hashtag accomplice. Yeah, they won't let you into the psychic gym until you do the Team Rocket event.
Maybe not. Maybe she'd help you, and then she'd be like, "So, Team Rocket, now that you know who's the shit around here,
start paying tribute."
Yeah, I don't know. Like I mean, if someone was going to destroy the world, Sabrina would be helping fight against them. But at the same time, I see her as, like you said, manipulative, ruthless. Yeah.
I think she's the evil and will... I don't know, she's like all those dynamics where you've got a bad guy from season 1 in some show, and then in season 2 you have to team up, and she's like unwilling accomplice, but for the greater good.
The only difference is like Vegeta wanted to commit genocide.
Yeah.
Sabrina doesn't.
Sabrina's kind of like, not my flavor. Fucker.
Sabrina just wants to do hood rat shit with her friends.
Yeah, sure, why not? Like stomp rival gyms. River City Ransom. Although, still going to say, fighting gym, much better than Sabrina's gym. Why? Because you get a Pokemon.
That's your favorite gym leader, right, Master Kyo?
Yes. He's not technically a league-sanctioned gym, which I think is why I like him. Yeah, he used to be until, he got wrecked by something he can't control. But I like it because he didn't choose to adapt. He stayed true to who he was, what he believed in, and yes, he lost his league sanctioning, if you want to call it that, but he's still him. He still does what he does, and he doesn't need league justification to say, hey, I'm going to keep this gym open. You walk in and they say, we used to be the official gym of Saffron City. But he's still there, he's still doing what he loves, and it shows that even if you're not sanctioned by the league or formally sanctioned by the league, you can still have a gym. You can still have that hierarchy of grunts and leaders and places where people can go to test their skill. That's something that is lost on the other generations. There's no other things. They're set up as clubs. They're not set up as gyms. It paints a much more interesting backstory than there's 8 badges, they're all in gyms, and you go that. There are other gyms, and that's something the show touches
It's a double-edged sword. I think in the new games it did become a little bit going through the motions, whereas in the first game they were creating the... You know what I mean? They were creating the structure of the game, and in the second game, they happened to do the same thing, and then third time became a pattern.
A trope. It's a trope.
The thing is, too, though, in the new games, they also tried to expand a little bit on a lot of those gym leaders' roles, and they show up later in the story. They have relationships with other gym leaders. So it's a give-and-take situation, I think.
Yeah, but I don't think that Kyo is excluded from all the league meetings just because his gym was beaten. And if it does, it shows that there's no camaraderie between the gym leaders anymore.
Erica's just like, oh my God, who let him in? You're not a gym leader anymore? This is gym leaders only.
I don't think Erica would do that.
What next? Are we letting AJ in? Because... Ew. He looks like he's from Lincoln Park or something. Hello, 2001 called. They want your unofficial gym leader back. They want your rapper / keyboardist back.
Let's be clear on one thing. That's totally not Erica. That is Koga's
Erica's
daughter.
A mean girl. Erica's totally a mean girl.
No, she's
yes,
totally
she is.
not.
Yes, she is.
She's a stoner.
Listen last week.
No, she's a stoner.
Oh, what was that? I'm sorry. I must have dozed off. You're just so boring me right now.
Wrong. It's, I'm sorry, what? Totally not a mean girl. She's just, I'm sorry, what?
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger.
Can I take your order?
I'm here to challenge you for your badge. Whoa.
Whoa, like that's a shock to you. Really?
I have a badge? I have a badge. He has a badge. She has a badge. We all have badges. Hey.
Okay. Totally Erica, not a mean girl.
Kyo, on Wednesdays, we wear shirts. To the meetings, we wear shirts.
Wrong. Chuck, another fighting gym leader in Gold and Silver, does not wear a shirt at all. So, yes.
According to the manga, I think Kyo trained under Chuck. Not the manga. Did I say the manga? I meant the anime.
Yeah.
According to the anime.
You said manga. Okay.
I meant anime. According to the
odd.
anime.
I figured Kyo would have trained Chuck, period. But whatever.
Right. In the anime episode shows up during the, what do they call it? The Master, I don't remember what they call the Pokemon series after the first season.
After like 600 some odd episodes, they're still coming up with unique names.
But it was the Johto series.
Right.
You know, when he was going through the Johto gym leaders. And because in the second generation of games, Kyo leaves his gym. The gym's actually shut down when you actually go
he's
to
in Mount
Mortar. He's training in Mount Mortar.
Mortar.
Personally training.
I can't remember exactly where that is, but I'm sure I could look it up on a map.
We know that he has a Hitmonlee and a Hitmonchan. That's who he always battles with.
Yeah. And
when you meet him in Mount Mortar, he gives you a Tyrogue.
Yes, I remember going in there and I was like, oh my gosh, Tyrogue, it's so good I can breed and get them both. And he's all like, you know, space in your party. And I was like, why not the box system work? If I can catch Pokemon and it goes straight there, why can't I just send one? I'm revisiting an old topic, aren't I?
Right.
I'm going to stop now, but yes.
That does make sense, though. Well, just release it and I'll catch it.
Yeah.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent. But yeah, he shuts down the gym to go train.
No, he doesn't shut it down.
It's closed.
Everyone else is still there.
You can still go in, but there's only one person there. And the gym leaders will come.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, they'll come challenge you there.
But the gym's closed. There's just somebody that still lives there, I guess. And that...
Man, I want to play Heart Gold Soul Silver now.
That accounts for the decrease in population.
Oh, that's what that is.
Perhaps.
Maybe. So you call them and they just hang out there until you come challenge them? So you could theoretically have all 16 gym leaders there.
I think they tell you when to meet them there or something, or maybe they meet...
Well, no, someone says call... I remember doing it a lot back... Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure Erica meets you... she'll meet you there on Sunday mornings, but that's it.
Well, no, I thought you had to call them in that time frame. You battle them, and then if you leave and it's still in that time frame, you can call her again and she'll come back.
Oh, really?
As long as you call in that time frame. So I was like, can you theoretically have all 16 gym leaders there?
Oh my God, it's that kid again. I'm not gonna answer. So do you remember the anime episode that Master Kyo was in?
Nope, because I didn't watch the anime because it sucked.
Yeah, it does. It is fucking awful. Like, I've watched a few episodes in preparation for certain podcasts, and I've just out of nostalgia's purposes watched a few of the earlier episodes. I've been a little more lenient on it more recently with regards to the early episodes, at least.
Probably because you're taking it with a grain of salt, like anyone should watching it.
But watching this episode, which was a lot later than I stopped watching, I was just like, oh my God, this is horrible. Like, the voices, no offense, no disrespect to the voice actors, but the voice actors, they definitely changed. Even Pikachu sounded different, which was like, I thought Pikachu was still
the same person,
the only consistent one. But like, every time somebody said something, Pikachu would be like, Pika, Pika, Pika. And like, just like throwing out like, all right, Pikachu, you got to put your 2 cents in. Like, Ash would be like, you can't do that. And Pikachu was like, Pika, Pee. And Ash like, I just said that. Pika, Pika, Pee. Well, you're not adding anything. You're just repeating what I said. Pika. No.
Fuck you too, Pikachu.
It's so... Every line of dialogue was just so, like...
horrible.
We don't give a fuck. We're just here to work for the day, and I want to go take a cigarette break. Like...
You mean like real people?
It was really bad. Really, really bad. The Tyrogue. Well, Pokemon always sound bad, but...
Yeah, but it's horrible where they just...
I gotta say, though, like, comparing that, like, it definitely seems like they got lazier. Like, anyone who has something bad to say about the early episodes, watch that episode, and you're like, oh, wow. This makes the early episodes look like fucking Hayao Miyazaki over here.
Wow.
Like, Jesus.
Burn.
It's basically, there's like this Tyrogue that's being a dick and like steals Ash's food and then Kyo shows up and he's like, this Tyrogue, his trainer abandoned him and he was injured, but he wouldn't let me help him. And like, there's this whole, it's really dumb. And the Tyrogue has this like Mankey and Primeape stooge. And at the end, finally, the Tyrogue and Master Kyo do battle, and the Tyrogue becomes Master Kyo's Pokemon.
So wait, hold on. A Pokemon actually fought a human?
Yeah, they fight. They fight one-on-one.
They legit fight.
Yes, which is funny because I forgot about that. I actually forgot until you just asked me to clarify if that's what I was saying. Yeah, and Brock's like, Master Kyo believes that in a Pokemon battle, humans and Pokemon are equal or something like that.
Okay, I'd like to see him fight a Geodude and break his friggin' fist. Or, yeah, why don't you just go up against a Muck and see how that works for him? Go Charizard! Charizard. Done.
Sabrina's Alakazam.
Completely lobotomized, Master Kyo just wanders around with a blank stare. See that? That's Master Kyo. He thought he could fight Pokemon.
It was a really awful episode. Even if Kyo's your favorite gym leader, you don't need to go out of your way to watch it.
No, I heard that he sparred with the Tyrogue, and I was like, worth watching YouTube, that scene, the rest of it, nope.
In the Pocket Monsters manga, not the main manga, the one with Red and all them. Well, it does have Red, but have you ever seen the one with the Clefairy, the really rude Clefairy? It's like a Ren and Stimpy Pokemon manga.
No. I thought there was only like one, and then there were different like continuations
That's
of it.
one series. There's a bunch of different Pokemon mangas that have been published in Japan.
Japan is so far advanced in terms of letting writers play with the source material.
Yeah, this one was directed towards young boys, like literally filled with like dick jokes and fart jokes, and like it's ridiculous. And Red has a
well, hold on. I'm setting up my computer to go get it now.
Red has a Clefairy and a Pikachu.
Hang on. Okay.
What's
it called? Pocket Monsters?
Apparently, in that manga, Master Kyo runs like an underground amusement park or something. The fuck?
I heard underground and I was like, Fight Club, yes! Amusement park, no.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, Ferris wheel, scraping the top of the cave. Good job there, buddy.
And that's the canon of Saffron City. There are some weird bits of trivia I guess we could share with you. Have you ever heard about this weird glitch? It's not really a glitch, actually. It's actually... Neither of these are glitches, but that's a good way to describe them. But they're just... One of them was purposefully programmed into the game, and the other one's just a result of an oversight in programming.
Not uncommon in Gen 1.
If you use like some type of code or workaround to try to bypass the
guard,
the
slacking guard who abuses his power, yes,
to get in there before you're supposed to.
So wall walking or walks through walls, yeah.
It loads a fake map of Saffron City, like an alternate set of data, like an alternate map. It looks the same.
Really now?
A few differences. It's a little narrower. The actual guard buildings, are outside of the map. So when you walk out, you don't see them. You just see yourself walk into the path. You know what I mean? With a little down arrow at the bottom of the screen. Whereas in the actual map, you see the building that you're walking out of. Then you walk into the city and no events are triggered. You can walk through the city, you can check it out, and then you can leave, go on to the next destination, but no events are triggered. So it's an actual workaround that was programmed into there.
For people that tried to cheat their way in. Could you still get like into the buildings and stuff?
I think so. It's just nothing, no events happen. Maybe you don't get psychic, or I don't know. I have
Worst
no idea.
workaround ever.
Or maybe you just walk around a map and can't walk in the buildings. Maybe it's just a fake. That would make sense because it's a whole nother map. They probably didn't make the entire interiors of all the buildings for it.
No, it was just to stop cheaters, which good on them for having that kind of foresight.
It's pretty cool.
Now, if you just let us push the truck next to the SSN, we might get Mew.
Fuck. I will always, till the day I die, until someone explains to me why that truck is there, that's always going to bother me, man. I know you can't use strength to move it aside, but what was the truck doing there? What was the thinking of the behind putting it there?
No
what
cars
happened?
Anywhere else in the world.
I just want to know. Well, also, in the red and green version, the original Japanese games,
versions, yeah.
Yeah, before it came to America as red and blue, you could totally ash it in Saffron City. You could, if you lost your battle with Sabrina and then blacked out and woke back up at the Pokemon Center, just go back into the gym and the game would erroneously think you won and give you the badge in TM when you talk to her.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact that is described as ashing.
Well, that's how I describe it, because that's totally like, well, I didn't get the win, but you think I could get the badge anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
what?
Pretty lame. We've discussed it enough.
Yeah.
But it is, I think, kind of cool that you could pull the Ash maneuver legitimately in the first version of the game.
Yeah, and the programmers were like, funny Americans, they will complain. And why the Japanese have a French accent? I don't know.
Well, they were aboard the magnet train. Where I don't know, that was a stretch. Lieutenant Surge trades you a Pikachu at the magnet train in Saffron City from France.
Wait, what?
If you can meet Lieutenant Surge at the magnet train.
When was this?
He trades you a Pikachu named Volty and it's a French language. It's from like a French language version of the game. If you play a Japanese version of the game, it's an English language.
Wait. When did this happen? Heart Gold, Soul Silver? Because I didn't catch that
Heart
ever.
Gold and Soul Silver or Gold and Silver, one or the other.
I didn't catch that back in Gold and Silver, and I played the mess out of those.
It must have been Heart Gold and Soul Silver then.
Had to be. Now I want to play it. Damn you. I really want to play it now. I can't remember if it's on DS or 3DS, or not on 3DS. Can't remember if it's on DS or GBA.
Yeah. Soul Silver and Heart Gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's DS. Seriously?
It's DS?
Yeah. Yeah, it came out after Platinum and Diamond and Pearl.
Blech, I don't remember it.
The only ones that are on Game Boy Advance are Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Fire Red Leaf Green.
Oh, that's right. That's
Gen
right. They remade. Okay, yeah. Oh, man, I want Heart Gold, Soul Silver redone again. That's like Gen 7. Go.
Redone again, jeez.
Yeah.
So what would it be like? Shining Heart Gold?
Sparkly Soul Silver?
Then they redo those, and it's like Sun Shiny Heart Gold, Moon Sparkling Soul Silver.
It's so terrible. It's bad. Nostalgia hit me real hard with that game.
I think it should have been Sun Gold and Moon Silver. I really think it should have been
Sun and Moon is Generation 8. You can't bring it in.
Oh, they're going to have an actual Sun version and Moon version? That'd be dope.
Yeah, instead of all the creepypastas that are like, oh, look what I got at the flea market.
They've clearly run out of colors.
Yeah.
Ever since
Gems.
Gen 1. The only generation to be named after colors.
And then, black and white.
They're not colors.
Yeah, they are.
No, they're not. They're shades.
I'm face palming. You can't see it, but I'm face palming.
But then, so are gold and silver. But they're not colors either. They're precious metals.
You could make an argument that they're colors.
They're not colors.
Based on
there
the
are colors
precious
named
metals.
after them. The color of them is named after them, just like an orange.
But
But if it was Pokemon Orange and Apple version, I would think that they were named after fruits, not.
No.
And that's what's next.
Well,
Pokemon
apple
Orange and
is a
version.
fruit. Apple is a fruit, not
That's
a
why
color.
I'd be like, it's not colored.
It's not based on colors?
Yeah.
Well, no, duh, some Diamond and Pearl.
No Pokemon games are named after colors except for red, blue, yellow, green.
I still think black and white are distinct colors.
They're not colors.
Dictionary that shiz.
They're not. All right, you want me to? Google.
All right, Google it. Do this with us, listener.
Black
Google
and
just do is black a color?
Colors. I already started typing are black and white colors.
Okay, listener, do this with us so you can see that he's full of crap.
In the visible spectrum, white reflects light and is a presence of all colors, but black absorbs light and is an absence of color. Black can be defined as the visual impression experienced when no visible light reaches the eye. Black is not a color.
Shit.
A black
No,
object
user,
refers all the
don't do
colors
this.
of the visible spectrum
Don't do
and
this.
reflects
It's a
none of
trap.
them to the eyes.
It's a trap.
The gray area about black. A black object may look black, but technically it may still be reflecting some light. Yeah, because there's a concept as such known as true black, which is insane. Like, apparently they've developed, I think I heard something about, like, the military supposedly developing some type of technology that looks like it's like an outfit or something that looks like straight true black, which is mind-blowing because you see it and you're like, what the fuck?
This isn't black like I know black.
Yeah, like
this isn't your daddy's
you can
black.
look at the sweater you're wearing, but there's gradients of
It's a
light
hoodie.
being reflected off it and shadow and wrinkles, and you can
It's
tell
a hoodie.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So this thing is like back in the debug menu of Smash Brothers Melee, you could make a character that was just solid black, no shading, no gradients, no
fucking
lights.
Cybot.
Yeah, exactly. Like just
Shadow
silhouette,
person.
a silhouette, essentially. When video games do a silhouette, it's just that, and they're making something that can project that.
But even that is still a color, or not a color, but a shade.
He heard it. You heard it here, folks. Black is a color. All right, next discussion.
Depicted digitally on a screen.
Right,
like
right.
it's
No, I know
not
what you're saying.
true black.
I know
because-
what you're saying.
Yeah, true black is something that does not reflect light
At all.
At all. And it looks obviously visibly different because it still is the same type of quote unquote color, but you're just like, wow, that doesn't even look like it's there. Like it looks like nothing is there.
All of this pales in comparison to the fact that black is indeed a color. Forget what Google says. It's a trap.
I think artistically or culturally, black and white are colors, but and like colloquially and just commonly, but they are actually not. Scientifically, black and white are not.
But for purposes of you ask the everyday person without getting into a huge, big, like scientific gammon on the whole thing, yeah, someone's going to say that they're color. Are black and white colors? Yeah, of course they are. One's darkest, one's lightest. That's it. That's how most people are going to see it, which is why I guess you could see that I made that mistake because I'm a regular person.
I wouldn't know, Phil. I don't see color.
Oh. Oh, you're going to play that card. Okay. Well, I guess I'll play mine. That shit's racist.
Right. So, yeah, you'd still be able to see black and white if you couldn't see color because they're not color.
I'm going home.
That's an episode of Silph Radio. If you want more, keep listening. There's more coming soon. And there's a backlog building itself to be pretty big now. So go check out that last episode me and Phil did with his brother John. We debate the science and politics of Pokemon battling. Craig makes an appearance too.
He does?
He does. You haven't listened to the episode. You got to check it out.
Oh, that's right. Oh, you okay.
Me and Craig pick up where we left off and continue the conversation going.
Oh, right.
And Craig, of course, is the guy I do my other podcasts with, Fair Point Podcast, which we're working on the 100th episode, and then the podcast is weekly again. It's a lot of fun. We cover a wide variety of topics: comic books, science, history, movies, fictional character biographies, historical figures, bands, music, albums, like anything you could think of.
It's actually worth listening to if you're the kind of person who veges out and just throws a podcast on. At least you'll learn something from it. Rather than
out. I do it when I work or when I commute.
Right.
I know. When I clean the house.
I know what
exercise,
you're saying, but I'm saying, like, to the casual listener.
Pokemon train.
Are you done? To the casual listener, I'm sure you could. To the casual listener who may just throw on a podcast and veg out while they're doing other stuff, at least you'll learn something rather than just hearing someone's thoughts and opinions, which is all I'm really good for.
I don't know. Good for is a little bit of a strong statement.
Oh, you're funny. Wasn't I going home?
Fair Enough is the side podcast. That's just discussions. You might not learn as much, but we still have fun. It's funny. And yeah, you get some opinions and stuff. Phil, we'll have to get you on an episode of that because it's all discussion and opinions.
Maybe eventually, but I tend to have problems with other people's opinions. Namely, I fight them. You saw that last episode I was in, right? Beating a dead horse? Totally me.
That's only because Phil believes that humans and dead horses are equal when it comes to Pokemon battles. From the Secret Room, I'm Nathan K.
I'm Phil, signing out.
Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Maybe.
Maybe. Most likely.
Possibly.